At any rate, barrel or nah from a listener, socks with sandals.
This is a real Australian thing, or was a real Australian thing. I think it's a clear no in every way of both practicality of you're out in the dirt and you're basically just walking around in your socks, right? They're going to get filthy no matter what. I don't even know what the point is. Why are you wearing sandals if you're in socks?
Right.
All of it is so absurd. The function of that of socks with sandals is so wrong that I think it almost backs into a barrel where it's such an absurd thing to do that have at it. Like, I don't feel offended. I don't feel like you're making a style blunder if I see somebody wearing socks and sandals. I think you're on some bold thing.
Yeah. I'm wondering, I think there's fashion choices that people currently make that are intended to be ugly. Like that's kind of a thing nowadays that I see a lot of young people doing
Sure.
where it's like baggy jeans,
I mean, it's
like
normcore
excessively
gone.
baggy.
It's normcore
Yes,
gone wild. Like it's
correct.
normcore taken to an ugly extreme.
Exactly. And so that's the chunky sneakers or the Crocs. Crocs are just ugly inherently and
Do you want to
then
know
they
something I learned
bedazzle
about
them.
Crocs real quick?
What?
Ballet teacher told daughter, get her in Crocs. And I was like, what? And she said back, do you think I wear Crocs because I think they're fashionable? And I rarely see her in Crocs. But apparently, wearing Crocs, and listeners, here's a hot tip, strengthens the entire foot. When you wear Crocs, your foot gets really strong
Hmm.
all the way around. So I asked her for the hippie alternative. I said, what if I get her in a pair of Birkenstocks? And she said, no.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Crocs, apparently, if you want a strong foot, go for
Weird.
Crocs.
I've never once thought about needing a strong foot.
I mean, ballerinas need one. So if you're doing, but imagine how a strong foot would deal in, I would imagine, to be honest, besides his broken metatarsals, part of Kelly Slater's like secret sauce was strong feet. Imagine what you can do on a surfboard with strong feet, like pulling it back
Honestly,
under you with toes and whatnot.
it could totally be a secret, like a little hidden unlock.
Totally. I mean, that's what, because ballerina, it's all about a strong foot, right? Like they
Yeah.
work their stinking foot
Yeah.
muscles, which I've never thought about before,
Yeah.
but direct application to surfing.
You know who wears Crocs? Sterling Spencer.
Exactly. Look who's on the real comeback. Ooh,
Absolutely.
yeah, Sterling.
All right. I'm getting myself a pair of Crocs, but no sandals.
But and also like I typically think sandals and socks like the a flip flop in a sock, right, where the toe is
Sure.
shoved in the sock. That's weird. And of course, you see a lot of like 50, 60-year-old men like a Tiva thing and a sock. And I have no idea what they're doing, to be honest.
Me neither.
Like I have zero idea why they don't just put shoes on. They're
Yeah.
because that dude does not want to do laundry. That dude is not getting home and looking at his filthy, dirty socks and thinking that was a good choice today. So he's somehow thinking something else. Is he thinking they're breathing?
No,
Or
the only thing I could think of as an answer would be old person putting a shoe on. You have to bend over and it's difficult.
you gotta just strap the Velcro of your any of those sports sandals, there's still a bending over, strapping down scenario
Maybe.
happening.
Yeah, maybe. Don't know. Don't know why
I
this
don't get
even
it.
exists.
I'm
It's
gonna say
bizarre.
I'm gonna say barrel because I'm so confused by it. Uh,
The whole point of a sandal is to not have to wear socks.
sure,
That's the entire point.
the entire point. And if it's
Yeah.
too cold to wear a sandal, but like it's honestly like, except maybe here's the crossover. How great! I just got one from Volcom. To be honest, I haven't worn it yet because it's obviously too freezing. Got a straight 2 millimeter wetsuit from Volcom, a two, not a 3.2, a two. When you get down into the minimal millimeters, you feel so juicy
Yeah, I know.
and ready to go that maybe that's what socks and sandals feels like, is like surfing in a 2 millimeter wetsuit.
Hmm. It's a good question. I'll have to never try it.
I mean, I won't try it either, but I do love a 2 mil. So maybe
I know the 2 mil's the perfect suit, man.
how great is the 2 mil? I don't know
It's a
why
full
three
suit.
two is like
It's a full.
such the thing, because your
You,
body doesn't need three.
yeah.
Your
Well,
torso does
no.
not need 3 millimeters of warmth.
Well, it depends what the water temperature is, but that's the point. Is you want a wetsuit for every version of water temperature. So if it's below 60, I'm going 3 2. But if it's like 64, I don't need the 3. I can go with the 2.
Like a 2 millimeter wetsuit is the ultimate gross luxury. It is
It
like
is.
a straight, like, I'm gonna tonight for dinner, I'm gonna eat caviar, and I'm gonna put my caviar on like something like on a foie gras is what I'm gonna
Yeah,
do. I'm gonna eat caviar and foie gras tonight because
exactly.
it's the
Yeah,
temperature is 63 to
exactly.
66 degrees.
I'm not even hungry. I'm just going to add some. Okay, well, barrel or non number 2 comes from listener.
Yo, Surf Thunder. Bruce here from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I have a good barrel now for you guys. Wearing your changing towel out after you change, like to go get a coffee, like you just surfed, you just changed out of your suit, you still got your towel on, but then you wear your towel to go get coffee or go get breakfast. I have a buddy that does this, and I swear it's the biggest kook move ever, to the point where I get secondhand embarrassment, and then I try to just not. I almost just not even want to associate or get breakfast with him because I know he's gonna wear that stupid changing towel. So changing towels, wear them out after you change, barrel or not. Always love listening. You guys always have great things to say. Cheers.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Okay, if he's meaning by changing towel, this is a real goes one of two ways. If he's meaning changing poncho, that is like a horrible zero barrel, ugly yuck yuck, right? If he is wearing his changing poncho into the coffee shop, like that guy should no longer be your friend, Bruce. If by changing towel you mean towel wrapped up, shower style around the
I
waist,
I think he means towel, not poncho.
are you sure?
He said towel.
I think he means but he said changing. I think Bruce is gonna have to call in for confirmation. I'm saying if it's a changing poncho, totally disgusting. If it's a towel wrapped around the waist, like you got out of the sauna, straight barrel. That's a boss move.
Man, I first of all, I've never heard of anybody doing either, and I don't think I've ever seen either. So, and either way, it's a nah for me. I mean, that's ridiculous.
If you
You
saw
cannot.
somebody,
The
if
only reason he's doing it is to showcase to the people in the coffee shop that he surfed and he got out of the water.
if
That's why he's doing it.
okay, though, what if he's going like what if he's got to get back to work, right? Or going to work? Say he goes down for a morning surf. He has his hoodie, gets done surfing. Like, let's presume he got in his wetsuit on the way to. He has a wetsuit rolled down at the waist, hoodie on to drive. Gets out, it's cold, takes the hoodie off, wetsuit on, surfs, gets out, hoodie back on, takes the wetsuit off with the towel because his work pants are at home. That's a barrel move.
Well, that's just poor planning.
No, because
I mean,
you don't want your work pants wrinkled in your truck while you're in
well,
your Tacoma while you're surfing.
the towel is strictly for the change. The towel is not for transport. You then bring a separate pair of shorts or pants, and
Nope.
that's what you wear.
I'm gonna start doing this on the reg. I'm gonna
Okay.
start just basically walking around the neighborhood in my changing towel, and by changing towel, I don't mean poncho. I mean a towel that I use to change.
There's also too much that can go wrong with a towel that's tied that way around your waist.
That's what
That
makes
thing
it
can,
so. It's like it's a dynamite situation. What might happen?
I mean, I'm not a, I mean, this is teenage behavior, so I'm not advocating that anybody do this, but I cannot count the number of times that me and my friends yanked one another's towel off in that moment
Sure.
where they're changing, their hands are occupied, and you see that opportunity, and all you got to do is grab the flap and just rip. And one time we were in like up by Monterey on beach changing, and it was windy, and I grabbed my cousin's towel and then just threw it straight in the air, and the wind caught it like a sail and blew it 10 feet down the beach. So he was completely naked, waist down, and then there's people around. And so rather than running the 10 feet to his towel, he opted to sit in the sand and cover himself up with sand.
See, if he would have, this is the whole thing. If you're wearing your changing towel out and or around and or a place where it can be removed, you've got to have in the back of your mind when that does happen. He should have just walked real slowly, confidently, nakedly over to his towel, picked it up, shaking it off, put it back on. No problem.
Yeah.
I mean, the
That would,
person who is so brave. I mean, yeah. Again,
we were
I've shared this story
teenagers.
before. First time I ever went surfing with Derek Riley. Had never met him. Had been riding for Stab for probably a year at this point. Flew to Australia. Sam McIntosh and Derek Riley picked me up from the airport. We went straight for a surf. Derek did his beach change without a towel. Just got stripped down fully naked in the parking lot, standing there chatting, whatever. Put it on his wetsuit, took off his wetsuit, put on his shorts. Uh, and I thought, this is how they do it here. They got smart. Who needs a towel? Who cares? And lo and behold, that's not the way they do it. That's the way Derek does it. But it was such a boss move that I was just thinking, no wonder Derek Riley is Derek Riley.
Yeah, that is very Derek Riley. It's so funny. Well, I'm going no on walking around with your changing towel, full stop. But
I'm going barrel.
We'll diverge. That's fine with me. So this one came from a listener, but it's an email, and he actually smashed 3 into 1. Not 3 into 1, but 3 in a row. First one being the most salient. Old timers griping about the end of the glory days in the surf or the lineup, barrel or nah. He says, I'm thinking nah, we get it. You had it better than anyone else. Congratulations. Truly happy for you. But trying to pin surfing's demise on the newish generations shows a major lack of awareness. If you wanted to keep it a certain way, you probably should have not done that, or you probably should have done that and not sold the entire pursuit to any and all bidders. Let us enjoy what scraps we have left. He goes on to say, barrel or not, number 2, mentioning the make and manufacture of your promotion of your luxury pantalones more than once a year. That one's aimed at you.
Good. Barrel
and then
on that one. I was going to
say. Final barrel or not is barrel or not. Rigid enforcement of societal norms seems to oppose the classic counterculture of surfing setup. Go ahead and address the first one, I'd say.
I mean, so barrel, real quick, we can just get them out of the way. Barrel on barrel or not is a barrel. Barrel on make and manufacture of pantaloons, total barrel. Right now, oh man, I wish I'm wearing a good pair right now. It's too bad we're not in studio. I can't even get to my tag, so can't see, but it's a solid pair, and I wish I could shout out the manufacturer. Put it in the show notes. And
everybody's dying to know.
Lastly, so what I hear him saying or addressing is nostalgia. Nostalgia is a full non-barrel all the time. So it's better ... Dumb. It's a non-starter for me. At the very, like, oh man, we used to go down to blank and surf blank with 2 people.
Yeah.
Your nostalgia, whether that's true or not, whether it was better or not, all of that, I don't care. Like,
yeah,
I live in the now. I live what we have these days. This is the best because this is what we have. So that's it for me. There is 0 barrel on back in the day. We blank.
I'm going to agree with you. And I default into doing it, I think, more often than I would like to. But the truth is, I don't think it was as good as I think it was.
No,
like
of course not.
Whatever the thing was, it might have been a pizza at a particular place. It might have been the waves like he's talking about. It's only good with the sheen of hindsight,
sure.
You know, and there's so much of it is sentiment. Like there was something about the way you were feeling that day that made you think like you were just in a great mood and you experienced it well. And you can maintain that mood today. The way that you're not going to be in that mood today is if you're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, feeling like it was always better.
Yep.
No, recreate the moment in light of today's circumstance and just create a brand new, fresh version of it. You know,
that's nostalgia is a straight non-starter. I feel like if you're sure, I'm sure a lot of things might have been better. A lot of things might have been worse. We will never know because exactly like you said, so much of it is in how you perceived it.
Yeah.
And so like you can never know. So enjoy that for what it was. If you had what you felt were great experiences back in the day, then great that you enjoyed those and enjoy today equally.
And inevitably, the 55-year-old dude in the lineup who's complaining and saying, man, it was so much better when I was 30. he's going to end up being a 65-year-old dude wishing that he would have appreciated it when he was 55.
That's if we could gift our listeners one thing, it would be no skin cancer. If we could gift them another, it'd be get rid of that nostalgia. Like enjoy whatever past you've had or experienced. Enjoy today even more or as much.
Man, nostalgia is a curse.
It's such a curse. I think I've said it on the show before. It used to be categorized as a mental illness
Oh yeah,
until
you're right.
recently. Yeah.
You're right. You have mentioned that before.
Yep.
That is very interesting. I mean, the truth is there is this kind of like morsel of nostalgia that has a warm feeling attached to it, but
That's
then
great.
everything beyond that becomes like a deficit.
Yeah, I mean it's
Detrimental.
you're fixating on something that you neither can change nor
Yeah.
go back and experience. And so like that's I think the mental illness aspect, right? Is
Yeah.
you're fixating on something that had happened instead of living in and fully realizing whatever. That's why today is the present.
Yep.
Daily scales. Today
Wow.
is a present.
Wow. Pure poetry.
Yep. Boom.
Incredible.
Yep.
Well, we'll end on that note.